So the line is Bucks by 1.5. This line has been kind of jumping around. The Ravens are favored at one point. Mark Andrews, is he going to miss the game? He didn't practice all week. The total is 45.5. But what's going on with Andrews?
Yeah, I don't know. It's a Wednesday for a Thursday game. So if you go back historically, that's not a good sign. But yeah, I mean, Gus Edwards is questionable, Bateman is questionable, Stanley is questionable. They list Andrews as questionable, Josh Bynes, Brandon Stevens, Marlon Humphrey, Marcus Peters. I don't know. And then on the other side, you have Tampa, who's good, I think, down maybe 5 potential starters on defense. Like some would start
Carlton
if they
Davis
weren't in.
is out, cornerback.
Yeah, Winfield is out.
Murphy Bunting is
Murphy
out.
Bunting, Hicks is probably not going to play. And then their receivers. You have Gage get hurt, Gadecki, their offensive lineman is out.
Yeah,
we don't know about Julio. Like, this is just a mess. So I don't know. I have without knowing who's going to play this game, it's really tough. I will tell you, both of these teams are really perplexing. The Ravens could easily be 7-0 right now, but their defense is 30th in EPA per play if you remove turnovers. But on the flip side, Justin Houston returned last week, looked really good. You're going to get Bowser back soon. You guys like Pierre-Paul, who's not great anymore, but they just added more depth for the pass rush. One of the biggest, and they're going to get Marcus Williams back as well. Slot corner is still a major issue. I would worry about Godwin having a big day here. And they really missed Kyle Fuller from earlier in the year. But I actually think this is a good matchup for the Ravens defense because I think they're outside of the Godwin matchup because the Bucks cannot run it. They cannot run it. They're dead last in EPA per rush. Their offensive line is a mess. They're also missing Brait. And I think the Ravens corners on the outside match up very well with the Bucks receivers. And, so then on the other side, it's like, can the Ravens offense take advantage of this shorthanded Bucks defense? I don't know. I mean, the Ravens offense is now trending down. Like, you got Bateman back and Stanley back. Well, you think now we don't know tomorrow night, but they looked awful. They all looked awful against the Browns, and they have not been the same explosive offense that we saw earlier in the year. And then the Bucks are just completely lost on offense. You cannot back them right now. I would not tell anyone to bet the Bucks right now until you see some form of life. Like, I know it's like, oh, it's Tom Brady. No, you're just throwing money away. I mean, they're losing at the Steelers with all their backups in their secondary, at the Panthers with PJ Walker and backups in their secondary, and they can't score. I know Mike Evans drops an 80-yard touchdown for the game, but other than that, their offense has looked completely inept all season. Father Time is still undefeated. Now, he has not been the sole culprit of this. There's injuries. The offensive line's a mess. They can't run it. The play calling is awful. We'll see. It's a short week, throws a wrench into this. I really have no idea. how to handicap this game, especially because there's so much uncertainty on the injury front. I will tell you, it's the Ravens historically, and this is a really short spread, in the first half are an amazing bet, generally speaking, and they're 0-7 this year on the fourth quarter spread, for what it's worth. And Harbaugh, and if you look back, like Lamar Jackson's speed, I used to think is it's hard for teams to adjust to it first, and they start to adjust to it. But I think Harbaugh just has great game plans, and they're very well coached, and they come out and with a great script. And because if you look back over the last 25 years, the 2 most profitable quarterbacks are against the spread in the first half: Joe Flacco and Lamar Jackson. So common denominator there is not speed. It's John Harbaugh. So betting the Ravens first half against spread is never a bad idea. I've learned that over the years, but I don't think I'll be betting this unless I get clarity on the injury situation one way or the other. And, you'll have to keep an eye on the Action Network app. This is, a mess from an injury standpoint.
Yeah. And it's weird to me that, the line moved back in favor of the Bucks, but the guy who I'm thinking would be most responsible for moving that line is Mark Andrews, but yet the total is still staying at 45.5. I would think the total would come down a half point or something. So I can't even explain what's going on with the line move at the moment, but Yeah, I agree. You can't back the Bucks. I mean, Tom Brady, this is what happens when you're a 45-year-old quarterback, but he's throwing short of the sticks on third down a lot more than I ever remember him doing. And
And
obviously,
missing more throws.
right. Oh,
More
yeah,
than
that
ever.
too. But I mean,
Did you see that fourth down throw towards the end of the game?
yeah, yeah.
That looked
I
like
watched
Zach
that.
Wilson was out there.
It was ugly, man. Like it's almost like I didn't recognize the guy sometimes. It's like sometimes he looks like Brady, but it's just like I don't know if it's because he's older now. I don't know if like what it is, if it's just he's like he doesn't trust the line, but it's almost like he's like spooked in the pocket to where he's just like it's like it'll be like 3rd and 10, and he'll take one step and just dump it to Fournette or dump it to a receiver running like a 4-yard in or something like that, or a slant. And it's like everything they're trying to get everything after the catch, and it's not working. So it's just weird to me that like I know they have issues with the interior line and whatnot, but it's just weird to me not seeing Brady at least hang in the pocket a little bit to try to make something happen, because it's like nothing's happening. It's like it'd be one thing if they were winning games and their defense was playing well and they were still winning games, but they haven't been winning games. So
Yeah, and their defense has dropped off a bit. There's injuries
yeah.
there's no continuity on the offense. The defense is dealing with injuries in the secondary. The play calling's also been bad on offense. Yeah, they're a mess right now. But the Ravens just are a hard nut to crack. Over the past couple of weeks, they haven't looked great on offense, and their defense just hasn't put it together yet. I think they're ultimately going to be fine. Like once you add Bowser, you have Houston back, you have more depth to rush the passer, and that you have two really good corners. You get Marcus Williams back, your safety depth will then be good. And we're running a new scheme, so there's an adjustment period, and they're dealing with injuries. Like there's just a lot of moving parts. So I think by the end of the year, the Ravens will be an undervalued defense, but right now it's still a work in progress. And then the offense is like, what is going on with it? I don't know. I can't. I don't know. And then if you have Mark Andrews out, then maybe Ronnie Stanley sits. I already he's dealing with an injury. It's a short week. Same with Bateman. Like all of a sudden,
I think
those
Bateman's gonna play.
losses.
He practiced in full on Wednesday, so I think he should be straight.
He should, but you never know in a short week. So and then if like the Ravens offense is shorthanded, like Gus Edwards, a little nicked up, then that negates some of the losses that Tampa has on their defense. So yeah, it's a whole mess.
I mean, I kind of gravitate toward the under, Thursday night. It's just I can't for the life of me explain why the total is not dropping if Andrew's the biggest name, like by far, of guys that like, didn't practice all week. So yeah, I would lean under, but this might be one you just want to kind of stay away from, or check the app, see if we bet any props.